The season finale for Malo's Law is here, and as you would expect, it picks up right where the previous episode left off, with that cliffhanger of Milo floating in space. I'm John Berry, and welcome to another Malo's Law review. Today I'm reviewing Season 2, Episode 20, Fear and Loathing in Outer Space. As I stated, this is the season finale. I hope there's going to be a Season 3. I'm going to get that right off the bat. I have heard nothing official yet. And there might have been something official and I totally missed it. But if there is, I'll be sure to talk about it or at least do reviews of when it comes out. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of more stories they would like to tell. And I suspect at least give it one more season. 4 seasons actually seems like it's a typical run-time amount on Disney. For Disney's animated shows. Phineas and Ferb, granted, took like 10 years, but it was 4 seasons. Star Wars Resistance, Rebels was also 4 years. So I think there's a good chance we'll get at least 2 more seasons of Malo's Law. Providing the standard patterns holds up, which I'm pretty sure it will, but we just gotta wait and see. But this should be about the episode, not the future of the series. So, this episode picks up, as I said, with the cliffhanger of the previous episode of Malo in space, and guess what? It wasn't Milo. Yeah, I know, I'm really off with that one big spoiler, but it's in the first 5 minutes or less of the episode, so it's pretty early on. And I probably will be spoiling this episode. In fact, I will be. That's what I do in all my reviews. But anyhow, it's not Milo, it's one of the aliens who abducted him, or should I say, took him without his permission in order to get his help fighting something that is causing much devastation on their home planet. Sounds a bit nicer than abducting, but that's what it was. But apparently these aliens, who live on the planet Octalia, and they're called Octalians, because 8 arms, obviously. Apparently they have the ability, as long as they're holding their breath, they can survive in the vacuum of space. And because Milo was the last thing he touched, he was in the form of Milo. Because apparently, every time they touch something or someone, they get a little bit of the genetic material, and as such, they can assume the shape of whoever that was. And if I'm correct, also previous things as well can also be acquired, if you will. But yeah, so it's not Milo, but Milo does make it to Octalia safely. And then, of course, it's properly revealed what is both on the planet and on the ship where all Milo's friends are, along with Perry, Doof, and all that. Actually, not all of his friends, his 2 closest friends, Melissa and Zach. And then, of course, Cavendish, Dakota, Perry, and Doof are there as well, and the OG. And he does play an important part later on in this episode. I was not expecting that at all, but I enjoyed it. I very much did. So anyhow, it's revealed that it's called a sphere of calamity is what the aliens are calling it. Some call it, some call it something else because they don't know what it's actually called, so they just named it. Which is actually quite neat. Like, you expect if you call something it's like you are so scared of it you can't even utter its name. Think Lord Voldemort, which everyone called him who must not be named, or sometimes even just the Dark Lord. That kind of thing. But I really liked here, it's like, they just, everyone disagrees on what to call it, which I think is actually probably the best way of doing it. And it's also more humorous, too. So anyhow, what it is essentially, I believe I had predicted this in my last Malo's Law review, that it was basically a sphere of negative probability ions. But there's a twist. It's all surrounded by one individual who on this planet has all the negative probability ions surrounding her, and nobody else has any. Which is kind of interesting, to say the least. And then So basically the Octalians want Milo to face whatever it is, and whether it's handle it somehow, destroy it, whatever, just stop it. And Milo does come up with a plan, though he needs the help of his friends to do this, all of them. So what he does is, so first of all, Doof brought two natives with him. A native that replaces wherever you zap is the closest chicken. Not very useful, but also his reducer native, which for some reason looks like a ladybug. Like it's painted like a ladybug, which, okay. I don't know why. And then, so what they do is they try to get to it so they can zap the negative probability ions to make them even smaller and thus less impactful. But, because of those negative probability ions, nothing goes as planned. I have no idea if Murphy's Law is affecting Milo at all during this. It's just so many negative probability ions on that planet. And causing so much trouble. You don't know. In one concentration, I should say. Because Milo states that on Earth, everyone has a little bit of negative probability ions. He and his father and the other males in his family just have a whole lot more of them. Okay, there's that. Just so I saw that in there, because it does serve to understand what Milo's secondary plan is. So they try to reduce those ions. It fails. But it's realized that the reducinator is set on reversal and enlarges DOG to an enormous size. And then that's where Milo, and after that Milo realized that DOG could get him to 0 because he's so big now. And that also he comes to the realization when Doof remarks that, actually no, Milo first came up with the idea that maybe what they need to do is, as kind of the backup, not as a backup plan, but as they realize that would work better plan while trying to stop it and get there, was that it would serve better to try to give everyone a little bit of the negative probability ions rather than it be concentrated in one person. But how to do it? And that's when Doof remembers that the aliens can absorb a little bit of the molecular structure of whoever they last touch. So, by that reasoning, they've inferred that perhaps by touching the girl who's inside, who has all these negative probability ions surrounding her, will be thus they can touch her, or the aliens, specifically her mother, who is the tallest alien we really see in here, except for the newscaster, who's just plain annoying, and I loved it every time the negative probability ions interfered with whatever he was doing, all his news reports. I just like that. But yeah, so it's also the alien person who led the mission to abduct Milo. She wanted to, if possible, save for Dawn to at the very least stop what was going on, the calamity. So what they do is, using enlarged DOG, they're able to get there, and so the girl's mother, the first one, of course, and then they all started holding hands, touching each other, just create a whole chain to spread out the negative probability ions, and it works. And I thought that was good, because the message that is showing here is, it sometimes takes a village, or in other words, teamwork, because Milo and then all his friends with him are the ones working to get Milo there. They're working together and helping each other. And so then they take this, and all the Octalians together are able to stop it by essentially spreading the negative probability ions among the population, so everyone has an equal amount, which is quite neat. It really is. And then of course while Milo was trying to get there, before they did this, they got back their courage. And also found out that they have translators, and apparently the default is dining and cuisine. Which is like, okay, so you have translators, but they have different settings, like a dining setting, a other setting, and there's a couple of things suggesting throughout here this plan, they have lots of different settings for things, which is interesting, but makes them unique in some way. And then, of course, I don't know if Milo and his friends get back, if only because, the episode ends with Milo Murphy's just messing it up. But I'm pretty sure they'll get back, cause come on, why wouldn't they? Of course they will. What they did there was for humor, which was excellently done in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much it I got to say. Oh yeah, there's another thing going on. Melissa and Zach. No, a lot of us who've watched this episode and do reviews kind of have noticed that, they could potentially become more friends. Some sort of things, they've been shipped together. I forget, because oftentimes when people ship characters, they often create a cute nickname for it. I don't know where it was. But I don't really care, because I think they would work well together. And then so, that goes on in this episode, and it really does well. And then it goes, Zach is trying to overcome all of his fear, and he's done so by now. And so, he's willing to maybe do a little bit more to suggest. And then, of course, he does, puts his arm around Melissa, kind of not too flirtatiously, you could say, but definitely, more than just regular friends, kind of making a hint, but not overt, if you will. And then, he realizes and, you can see the fear returns him, and then Melissa kisses Zach on the cheek, and, I'm seeing it could really work out. It's been suggested, it's been built up to. And Perry's the first character in here who notices it before, a more subtle hint. Earlier on in the episode, I forgot exactly what's going on, but he's the first one to notice, which I think is just perfect. And also there was a return of that Doof can somewhat understand what Perry is saying, but apparently he can't tell the difference between Perry saying try and Perry saying die. Who knows what's going on there, but I just like that return in the improper translation. Improper translation is really just a very fun thing as a whole. It's enjoyable, it really is enjoyable to watch, especially if both parties know that there is a translation failure. Or even, it's just fun no matter what, but it is just fun seeing translation failures, and there's plenty of that in this episode. In fact, with these aliens as a whole, every time communicating with Milo, there's at least one communication fail, which I thought was good. But that's really all I have for you today, so if you enjoyed my review... Oh, I also forgot to mention, there was also an homage to an old film. I believe the film is called Spartacus, and essentially a scene where one person stands up and says, I'm Spartacus, then another person stands up and says, no, I'm Spartacus. So in this episode, the aliens, when they get back to Courage, they all take the form of Milo, probably because he was one of the last ones one of them touched and had the molecular structure of, and they go and help Milo on the mission they asked him to do to stop that sphere of calamity, or whatever they called it. But yeah, and so what they did is because Milo saw that, was confused himself, obviously, and then one says, I'm Milo, then another says, I'm Milo, and one should all just say it. And I really like that homage. It was a very good homage for them to throw in. Yeah, okay, that's where I'm actually going to end my video. I can't believe I nearly forgot that. Because I really enjoyed seeing that homage there. So, thank you for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. I also want to hear, what did you think of this episode? Let me know it down in the comments down below. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. Videos come out every week, normally 3 times a week, sometimes more. Also, do consider following me on social media or checking out my website or supporting me on Patreon. Links are in the description if you're curious. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Have a good one.